said that Max was really just very candid and, wanted balance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, nah, dog. He's
What do you
already
mean?
starting to do things that has me raising eyebrows. Siobhan being in his ear constantly. He's constantly harassing me about lawyers getting higher pay. And I'm like, to do what? Stand around and wait to be needed? If they're going to do a whole lot of this at-home work for cases that require, research and prep, then they need to be charging retainers to the clients and not expecting the state to pay for that. So I shut that down. But like, there was a guy, Jonathan Acker, he came to both me and Philippa Cantor, who is the healthcare liaison, he introduced himself and said that he had been responsible for writing a bunch of legislation for Max. And then when Philippa and I brought it up at the council meeting, Max denied it because Mr.
Oh.
Acker has a felony because he tried to stab somebody that had stabbed Max, chased him down, and then stabbed Sean instead.
What the hell?
Yeah. So he got, what was it? Attempted murder of a government employee or assault and battery. I can't remember which one.
Okay. I don't want to derail this,
No,
but I
you're
have to go do my
fine.
job.
You're fine.
It's been an
I'm
hour and a
just
half.
saying, like, this is, yeah. So I think I'm going to be writing with Sean. He's going to
Okay.
be around for a hot minute. So, and then, well, Liam was nice enough to offer up, but I think he needs one more ride along. So
I am going to try to deal with that now.
fantastic. So yes, again, I'm sorry. I love you.
Stop. No. Don't apologize.
No, because it's not
No.
fair
No.
to
I'm
you to
leaving.
have.
No. No apologizing. You're fine.
Okay. Be safe.
Love you, Etta.
Love you.
Hello.
I'm at Rhodes. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm great.
Whose vehicle is that?
This one right next to me was Cornwood's that he just rode up in, but he just fixed it. I just don't think he put it away.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure it's refueled. Cause I ain't never driven. Well, I've driven one, but not. It's not. It's so fucking empty. It's struggling. Hop in.
Okay, thanks.
So I'm gonna make this quick
Okay.
and fairly easy. I'm gonna tell you where you stand. So from my understanding, you are intended to be a fast track hire. However, based on one of the FTO reports, or the only FTO report that I see, it indicates that a few things hadn't happened throughout that situation, one of which was case law related, the other processing related. This was 2 days ago. I don't know if anything's changed since.
Was this with Flop?
Yes.
Interesting. Nobody really wrote reports then, huh? Well, I think Flop dropped me down to a cadet and put a report in.
So you likely had a similar issue, if I had to guess, that others did, where we literally cannot create a report if you are not listed as a cadet. And I think Flop was the one who initiated that process.
Right. That was
so
2
who
days
else
ago.
have you ridden with?
I rode with Captain Turner,
Okay.
Captain Slacks, Barrick back there, Kit, and Flop, I believe, that was my lineup there.
Got it. Okay. So if that's the case, I'm just gonna go based on what I can see, which is, the lack of processing portion. Have you processed anybody since?
Since then, no. Flop was my last one.
Okay. Have you processed anybody at all with the other FTOs?
I have, yes.
Was Barrick one of them?
I believe was I with Barrick when I processed somebody?
Try looking through your reports.
Yeah, I'll check that right now.
The reason I ask is because, I mean, right now there's a vote for whether or not you get promoted to PPO. Now I have not, rather, voted yet, because truthfully, I haven't run into you. However, based on the report, and the fact that there should have been other reports, but from my understanding, they weren't up because you weren't listed as a cadet, so people couldn't actually make them. I have no problems voting in your favor, especially if you're intended to be a fast track hire, and you can sort of go over the only concerns I've seen listed, and they aren't really concerns as much as they are, you know, they just weren't gone over.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So for me,
yep, I've got one process there. I found a couple. I remember the last one was the ID. I think that was with Slacks.
Okay. I will. I'll take a look here in a moment.
See, got that. I'm looking for a couple. I think I did a couple. There's stabbing on Orchardville. Group 6 stabbing. I got one in there. That was with Barrick.
Okay. Who was the 95?
Aries King. This is incident 1641. There's a shit ton that was written about that one.
All right, we're gonna return this, and then I will. We'll probably sit in the garage for a bit. I'll ask you some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Go over report-related stuff. But were people placed under arrest throughout these situations?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I am gonna call Barrick and get his stance. Like I said, I don't know. Fortunately, I haven't seen Turner in a while, and rarely do I run into Slacks. I know Barrick typically does more often than I do, so I'm just gonna speak with him, and then I will get back with you, and we'll have a plan of action ahead of us, at least. But for me, oh, hello. Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something. I apologize. I tell everybody I'm in the middle of something just so I can drive away. Oh, gotta go. There's a call, and I turn the corner, and I go from 0 to 55 real quick. I'll tell you that much.
It's quicker to get away now.
Not wrong. All right, give me a second. I'll be with you shortly.
Take your time. You're good.
Hello.
Eric, question.
Okay. Maybe answer.
McMahon.
Uh-huh.
So there's only one FTO report. I want to say I had this conversation with you. If not you, it was Flop, regarding him not having FTO reports because he wasn't listed as a cadet. That you that had the conversation with?
Because I don't know. The reason I never give him an FTO report, because from when I talked to Turner, it was just going to be like a like word of mouth thing, and he was going to go out with like 2 different people or 3 different people, and then just be pushed out there. So
okay.
But then obviously we haven't seen Turner in a while, so.
Okay. Are we able to push people to PPO? Like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
As long as we have the majority vote of us.
What's majority at the moment?
Like 4.
4?
Basically.
Well, there's already 4 votes.
We should promote him then.
All right. Where are you?
I am in a traffic stop in Unit Depository.
Oh, perfect. I am just going to go through case laws. I want to cover my... Wait, are you the one conducting the stop?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Give me a call back.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Bye.
Ugh. Where you at? All right. Barrick's in a traffic stop, so he's gonna give me a call back.
Okay.
But in the meantime, here, let's step out of the way. Come over here.
Sure.
All right. How are you with your case laws?
Case law pretty good.
Okay.
I will say I did trip up a little bit when he asked me specific names, but I know once, like, it's like not knowing someone's name, but you know everything about them.
Yeah. Trust. Been there, done that. Actually.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
but I was able. Yeah.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through some case laws with you. Get your general understanding of them. And the reason I'm doing this specifically is because the only FTO report is from Flop, and it does indicate the whole, we didn't go over case law. It's not a negative as much as it was just not
Right,
covered,
okay.
right? But if Flop is telling me that you did everything correct, there was no issues whatsoever, outside of the fact that, again, didn't go over case law in processing, if you can go over case law with me and do well,
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, ultimately you have my thumbs up. For me,
Okay.
especially as a fast track cadet, there would be no sense in me not trying to push you out there as PPO if you're more than capable and ready. Let's start off with an easy one.
Sure.
Tennessee v. Garner.
Garner. So that's unconstitutional for law enforcement to use deadly force to apprehend like a fleeing suspect if they don't pose a significant threat. Pretty much, it's kind of I kind of tie that in with Terry a little bit. When you believe a suspect is, or not believe, but when you know that a suspect is armed and dangerous and proven to be dangerous, then you have reasonable, it is constitutional to kind of gun them down, but it's worded in the opposite. That's kind of unconstitutional if they don't pose a significant threat.
Okay. Let's which one should I ask next? That's the question. Fuck it. We'll just go in order. Terry v. Ohio.
That's our stop and frisk doctrine. That is when you have reasonable suspicion that a suspect is armed and dangerous. It gives you the right to stop them, detain them, and conduct an outer close pat down for looking for a weapon.
Okay. And what are the requirements to conduct a Terry frisk?
Just RS that a person's maybe armed and dangerous, even without a warrant. That's kind of it. Just you have to have some sort of RS that they're armed.
So there is an additional portion, which is when you say RS, I'm assuming you're using it as sort of like an umbrella term that sort of encompasses the remainder of it, which is, RS to believe that they've either committed a crime, is about to.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You throw that portion in there, and 100% you got me.
I got you. Okay.
But when you said RS, I'm assuming, right? Because what else would you have RS for? You know what I mean? So I'm assuming you meant that, but just to make sure we're covering our bases here.
Yeah, that they were, are, or will be armed and dangerous, or be committing a crime, and you believe them to be armed and dangerous.
100%. All right.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, I usually, honestly, the has been, will be, is fucking that part. Like always, fucking. I just never really like that part, so I usually omit it.
I can understand. For me, the important bit was that you hit on RS, because what are you going to have reasonable suspicion of? You reasonably suspect that they're having a good fucking day? No, it's you reasonably believe that like something is fucking afoot, like something's
like
off.
That, yeah.
All right. Well, let's move over to Pennsylvania v. Mims.
That's one pretty much you're allowed to order.
I'm gonna stop you there just a moment. Barrett's calling me back.
Sure, go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? So where we want to do this? Where are you at?
I'm currently at Mission Row, going over case law with McMahon at the moment. So anywhere really.
All right, myself and Flav will join you. Just
Okay, Alice is
Where we
around. I
at?
just saw her. Maybe we should have
Yeah.
her as well.
yeah, that'd be a good idea. We can
Perfect.
Get the FTOs involved.
Would you mind doing the official promotion? I only asked because I know either you or Flop have actually ridden with him. Whereas I'm more so just going over case law with him and like barely know the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can just
Where do you want to meet?
I guess Motorpool is fine, I suppose.
Perfect. You sure you don't want to take him
You know,
over
just, like, come
to
close to each other? I
Senior
don't like
Buns
this.
to
Make me
be
uncomfortable.
promoted in the fucking
Be
hellfire
bathed in
that
the
that
fires.
place is? I'm kidding.
I
I'm
think he's
kidding.
got a, I think he's
I'm
got
kidding.
A
I'm
good idea.
kidding. All right, give me a second. I'm just gonna go over the remainder of the case law with him, and
Yeah.
then I'll have him sit still, and we'll get in a group and talk.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. Apologies. All right. I'm so sorry. Pennsylvania v.
You're
Mims. Hit me with it.
Okay, that's when during a routine traffic stop, you're allowed to ask an individual out of the car or order them when it poses some sort of officer safety risk. But you cannot conduct a full search.
Okay. All right. Now, what about Carroll v. U.S.?
That's the Carol.
There's a bit of I'll give you a hint.
That's the
because-
automobile exception thing, right?
and what I like to tell people, Carol starts with car.
Oh,
right.
right. Good one. Yeah, okay.
Easy way to
So-
remember it.
Right. So that allows us to search a vehicle without a warrant, as long as you have probable cause and a target for the search to look for said items.
Okay.
So that's not. So the automobile exception is kind of different than, say, a house search, seeing as you would need to gain a warrant to access the the contents of the house. While this one is, since it's mobile, and can we could lose the evidence if it were to be tampered with or removed from the situation quickly and easily, that we have the right to go in there.
Exactly. That's perfect. All right. Now, let's say I'm going to give you a hypothetical here, and then I'm going to have you tell me the case law. Okay.
Okay.
You got a vehicle pulled over, right? And within that vehicle is an individual who is panicking. They say, I don't know. Listen, I messed up. I got a gun. I don't want to go to jail. There's a gun in the car. You put them in cuffs, right? They tell you it's located in,
Right.
who knows? Let's say the glove box, right?
Okay.
And within the glove box, you don't necessarily see the gun, but you do see, a little bag in there. A little bag. It's specifically, in this case, big enough to be able to conceal said gun. What case law gives you the ability to go ahead and search that? Well, I mean, obviously, outside of the fact that the individual's already told you that there's a gun in the glove box, right? But like, sort of excluding that. In this case, what would give you, or which case law specifically would give you the right to search within the glove box and then that container or bag within said glove box?
Isn't that just the same one? Isn't that Carol?
No.
Oh, Houghton.
Perfect.
I got you.
And also, I never know if it's Houghton. Who the fuck knows nowadays?
Putin.
Houghton?
Yeah, Houghton.
Houghton?
I
Houghton?
say
Houghton?
Houghton.
Houghton?
Houghton.
Yeah, Wyoming versus Houghton.
Houghton? Who the fuck knows at this point? Is it caramel or caramel?
So when you said you saw a baggie,
Caramel.
when you said you saw a baggie, I thought like you were talking like there were drugs in the car.
No,
too,
no,
so
no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
I was like, well,
No,
you got
no,
a
no.
PC to go looking for
That's
the
my.
rest.
That's
Yeah,
why
okay.
immediately after I clarified,
Yeah, okay.
because you're
I'm thinking like plastic bags.
no, you're
Ziploc
not
or
wrong. You're
something.
not
Yeah,
wrong.
okay.
I mean, you're not wrong. In that specific case, Carol could definitely, you know, yeah, see,
it would apply if you have PC that you see if I see some sort of contraband on the floor, then that gives me right to go looking through all compartments.
100%.
Yes, I got you though.
However, if we started talking about like a passenger in a vehicle who had a backpack and, you know, you start going from like one to the next, that one will become far more nuanced.
Right, yep.
All right, easy one. Miranda v. Arizona.
Well, that's the case that established the Miranda rights. Pretty much, it protects the individual from self-incrimination, provides them a lawyer at the state cost, right to remain silent, to keep their mouth shut so they don't incriminate themselves. But it's all based off the Fifth Amendment for the person in custody.
All right. And last bit. Pretend you're arresting me. Read me my Miranda rights.
All right. Well, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney, have an attorney present or questioning. If you can't afford an attorney, won't be provided to you by the state at the state's expense if available. Do you understand these rights as I read them to you?
Perfect.
And then with these rights in mind, do you wish to speak with me?
Perfect. Most people get 99% of the Miranda rights correct. Oftentimes, I shouldn't say oftentimes, sometimes people omit specifically the portion of if available. And the reason that is so important is because if you don't state that, you are stating that they're going to get one, regardless of whether or not one's available. And sometimes we simply can't accommodate that, which sucks, but it is what it is. I've had many times where people go, you read me my rights, you said I could have an attorney. And I then have to hit him with yeah, I also told you if they're available, and right now they're not. Right. It's unfortunate. No, you hit on it. You hit on it.
Oh, I did. Okay. It was still routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize like the importance of that. But yeah, no, you're good. You're good on that front. I'm satisfied with case law related stuff.
That is something that we didn't get to go over yesterday. Yeah.
Nobody hit those. So that was my first pass on that one.
I'm satisfied. You know what? Cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Okay.
Okay. Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Confirmed at least a 7 on case law. Double thumbs up from me.
Perfect.
You can take them off now.
Can I take my? I can take.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hi. Okay. So what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna leave this to Barrick, who did have. I mean, Flop as well, but I'm gonna primarily leave this to Barrick, given he did have a shift with you. All you, Barrick.
I also had a shift.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Flop, were you the one who said he didn't get any FTO reports because he wasn't listed as a cadet?
So if you go to the FTO report and you do an advanced search and you go based off cadet and you look up Liam McMahon, because he was marked as a he was marked as a PPO and not a cadet, we couldn't make FTO reports like we would normally. So we would have to essentially manually input Liam McMahon FTO session, Shift 3, So
Chat,
I
I'm not
dropped him
saying
back down
just
to
a 7.
cadet so that for those
I
sessions
said
we
he's
can
at
actually
least a
record them,
7, which is the passing grade.
until we got to this point. So, if that makes sense.
Yep. No, it does. It does. Anyone got food?
As a matter of
I
fact,
I have a granola bar.
Don't right now.
You
yeah.
know what? I'll take a ooh,
I got chips.
chips. Okay.
All dressed, kettle cooked.
Granola bar.
Not bad.
What is it with the water in this city? Why is
I
it
have no idea.
way more nourishing than the fucking food is? You
I think
expect
it
it to
makes
be
people-
opposite.
I think it just makes people incredibly horny.
You might be right.
Listen, Twitter rather is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I turn that off. You don't be looking at it. Should I be looking at this?
Just reminding people how hot I am. Please get me money.
Wait, hold on. Retweet my tweet. Mine's good.
You know, I tweeted, nobody better call me their bro or dad or I'm going to fine you $60,000 for adoption fraud. Marlo Stanfield tweeted at me and said, aight, bro. Big shot, hot guy, long night. Okay. Damn, people are desperate. Anyways,
It's crazy things.
continue,
Yeah.
Barrick. Sorry for derailing.
No, it's all good. Listen, you've given myself and unless anybody else has anything else to say or speak up about, no reason to believe that you cannot handle yourself out there on your own. You know, seem very experienced. I know you had you came in with a lot of experience and a great deal of just insert here, insert this field. It seems like you went through some pretty interesting stuff, and got a level head about you, and we think you fit right in, and you're gonna be a great addition to what we got going here. So,
I appreciate that.
with that being said, you know it's probably taking a bit longer than it was supposed to. I think
That's all right.
Turner had probably a certain idea as to what he wanted to have happen, but you know, we gotta take up where things are falling off a little bit and take matters into our own hands. So we're gonna push you out there by yourself, and how it's gonna work is
Good shit.
essentially every 15 days we'll check up in with you. I mean, this doesn't mean you have to like ride by yourself the entire time. You can still ride with people. You're essentially just operating as a normal officer, but just
Okay.
under the like official like PPO thing. And then yeah, like I said, every 15 days we'll check in with you, and then after that you'll have like a final or something along those lines, and then you'll be done as long as you pass there, and you'll be a full officer in the LSPD.
All right. No problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
we'll,
absolutely.
I'll be an
Congrats.
addition. Thank you. I'll be an addition, I promise. And if you guys need anything specifically worked on, just hit me up. I don't give.
I'm
up
actually
on
going to
shit.
speed run a couple questions here.
Okay.
So historically in the past, as a police department, we used to refer to something called felony stops, which are now called high risk stops.
High risk, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm used to.
okay.
Okay.
And then one of the other things is there are no strikes. They are disciplinary
The DAPs,
action
yeah.
points. Yep. Mm-hmm. I just remember saying felony stop one day out of old habit, and got immediately corrected. It was probably Turner. You know, old habits die hard.
Yeah,
That
Oops,
happened to be
doesn't
during
it?
academy
Oops,
when I was instructing the high risk stuff.
But
I knew that.
I will say, the justification behind high risk stops makes sense, right? If we are ordering people out of a vehicle, it may not necessarily be because they committed a felony, you know?
Right, because you have RS that it's they could be presently armed and dangerous and all that. So
Yeah,
it's, it's a bit
there's
different
countless
than
reasons.
saying
Countless
felony
reasons.
is like you have PC for something when this car could have been flying out of a fucking shooting. You don't know if they actually did shoot.
Exactly. I'm trying to figure out what else. I think that's mostly it. Should you have any questions regarding processing or anything to that extent, do not hesitate to ask. The reality here is if you have 90% of processing down and you just need, even if you need to make a phone call, right? You can call any of us here. None of us will have any issue whatsoever answering any questions you got.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't feel as though you need to have every bit of information. If you don't, ask. We'll help the best we can.
Yeah,
I think I the only question I have is with all this new crime popping up when it comes to contraband, what are we doing about seizure if we don't know if it's associated?
So I can kind of elaborate a little bit.
Mhm.
We need to kind of open up an investigation on stuff. So, for example, there's another call that we have been dealing with where people are getting these, I guess, these money slips. And we've noticed a pattern of behavior of these money slips being kind of brought up. And we've kind of built a PD dossier sort of around these money slips. What are they used for? Why are they found on these scenes? And we're essentially elaborating on what is a possession that we suspect could be involved. And we're trying to create a pattern of behavior.
Then you bring it to DOJ?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Which you're at the meeting, right?
Today, yes.
I'm pretty sure Aziz actually went over a specific example. I think, I believe it's what he was talking about. Y'all remember what we referred to as like the plankton device for a while? I believe he now said we should be seizing that.
Yeah, it's a key frequency radar, and it was put up to the council to be made like marked for police seizure going forward.
Okay.
But pretty much we'd be doing the same
officially. Yeah.
We'd be doing this. We'd be doing the same thing with anything we haven't really encountered before. Documentation is key. I mean, sometimes it's literally just a matter of documenting this person during this crime had this on them, and then articulating why we suspect it's involved. Eventually bringing it up to either the council, Department of Justice, and then pretty much saying, hey, listen, we've done an investigation. We have every reason to believe that these two things are directly tied in with each other, and we need a charge associated.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So we're working on what financial stuff? What was it? What was that one specifically? You said something about a money order?
That one is the, I think.
Yeah, so
that,
what
I have to go document my guns. I'll leave y'all be.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, so the 37 Charlies are, best we can tell.
We have
so
another
far,
comp out there, which is good.
Like money orders, or
Especially one with experience.
exorbitant amount of cash from those. I believe Suarez and Denzel in shift one kind of later.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna talk about that. I can't even. You know what? That's locked open. I can't unlock that. I don't know what to do. This one though. Nope. Wrong spot. So yeah, for those of you wondering, when I specifically said he's at least a 7, I was not saying he's a 7. Okay? Please listen to what I'm saying. For context, 7 is essentially a passing grade. Where is the entrance to the... I'm going crazy. I'm going fucking crazy. Right here. Hello? Oh. Oh, you don't sound like yourself. Oh, now I imagine you. I never met you before. Um, refuse to use non-ISO 8601 format! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Regards, Eric Trigg. What
Hello.
what does that mean?
Oh, it means it means a lot of things, really.
Like,
Have you looked at the format of how you're supposed to register your firearm?
I'm actually going to register my firearm now.
I'm here to tell you that maybe you should reconsider.
I'll have you know, I'm ahead of the game, and I've been
Okay.
documenting my own guns. So how about you look at what I've done? Look at my profile. Profiles, and then search
What's your
for
name?
1303 Matt Rhodes.
Matt Rhodes. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's
Okay.
cool.
Okay, so what
Okay, I need you to look at the dossier for
I
weapons.
did. Hold on.
This is a character test. See if you see what's wrong.
Hold on. Registry, shift 3. All right, so officers will register their PD issued equipment, blah blah blah. Okay, I see a bunch of shit. 2824. You know, I specifically wrote out the month on my profile to avoid any issues.
Yeah, but it's still not ISO compliant, sir.
Maybe he doesn't want me to talk to him.
What's the proper formatting for ISO 8601?
Did you miss my presentation on the ISO?
He made you acting captain?
Was it today?
No, it was a couple of days ago.
I must have missed it.
Oh, don't worry. I have a 77-page PowerPoint you could look at.
I'd rather not. How about you consolidate to one?
Okay, I've been
Verbal
able to-
sentence.
Okay, ISO is the foundation of life. And then it defines how you do stuff in life. And then one of them is ISO 8601 that defines how to put the the date format. So the date format for ISO 8601, you have YYYY-MM-DD, and then if you have any time, you put it there too. That's the proper format according to ISO 8601.
Okay, but why would we use ISO 8601?
Because it's an international recognized standard, one of which the American government is a part of. It's a consensus-based foundation.
Okay.
It's to avoid confusion. Because if everybody followed the standard that everybody has accepted, the 165 member countries, then we wouldn't have the issue of is it the 4th of February or the 2nd of April? Who knows?
Well, considering April has yet to happen, I mean, I get what you're saying, because in April it may become an issue.
Yep.
But right now,
Okay, so let's say it's the 1st of if you want to go down that route, well, the 1st of February then. Or the
I mean,
2nd of February.
You bring up a valid point. Well, the 2nd of February, that's
I guess
that's irrelevant, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting for the 3rd of March to recognize record my weapon.
I get where you're coming from, but I will say there are going to be a lot of us who are going to fuck that up.
But why? Look.
Because never in my life have I had to start with year, month, day. Is that it? Did I say it right?
Yeah, you know what? If you go to an incident, any incident of your choosing, if you go to any incident, you open it up, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then in the top you see created by, and then the name, and then there's a date.
And food, of course.
If you click the date, you can actually see it, and you can click it a few times, and then there should be something that is.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Is that not a different format than the one you're requesting, which starts with year?
There's multiple ones. You can click more.
So this is day, as in like day of the week, day
Yeah.
of the month,
But-
month, year, time.
Sir, click it a few times. There's more than one.
Oh. Okay, but oh, I found the one you want. Why is there a T in there?
I mean, there's different ways you can write the ISO, but
Oh
that's
damn,
from
not
the-
2024-0208T.
Yeah, that's how you write it.
What
That's
did you just
naturally
do?
sortable in any database too.
If I have to put a letter in there, why
You don't
why
have
would
to
I?
listen?
I'm listening.
The T is there. That like
It's silent,
you don't have to put the T.
but the T is there. I see it.
Yeah, but that's like one of the variations of basically the ISO 8601 defines multiple formats, but they all look like that. The T is just to make it hyper like you don't have to put the T. It's optional. And normally you can also put a Z in the end to indicate which time zone.
You are making a big fuss out of the date, okay? I am able to use enough context clues to figure the date out. You know what I can't do? I can't squint enough to see half of the fucking letters on the MDT.
Well,
That's the real
probably-
issue.
I mean, that's probably because the MDT isn't built according to standards either. You see, what happens is when people don't follow standards is that people don't know how to use it. Have you thought about this?
I'm
Have
listening.
you thought about when whichever car you enter in the entire world, you will be able to read the dashboard because that's an ISO icon for like
What?
engine lights, seat belts, gas tanks,
Really?
all of that. Yeah, that's an ISO.
You're lying.
No. That's an ISO format. For that very specific reason is that you should only learn how to do it once.
So
And
what's up
then
with
you should-
Tesla?
But Tesla is American. They're special.
Okay.
They think they're so special, you know. It's the same with Apple.
Because Tesla, you can just like do whatever you want in that car. I can change the icons to snow cones if I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that's not ISO certified. I can tell you that much.
Aren't you allowed to ride with a VR headset or something like that when you're in a Tesla?
I'm pretty sure you can sleep in them.
Yeah, but then again, the Cybertruck is illegal in Europe because it's unsafe for literally everyone.
I mean,
How's
that makes
How?
sense.
It has no
So-
crumple zones.
yeah.
It has sharp
Because it's bigger than a
edges.
fucking shoebox.
Well,
Yours-
pretty cool,
I mean,
I don't know.
Trig here is right. If you think about it, right, the reason that people don't get injured nearly as much as they used to in vehicle accidents is because of crumple zones, right? That Cybertruck, pointy edges everywhere, and what the fuck is gonna crumple?
nothing. The people
The-
that you
the-
run into.
The driver.
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, imagine it crashing into just like a solid like wall, right? At 60 miles an hour. How's that gonna go? That's not gonna be. I don't
How did
know.
that, like pass like a crash test? Isn't that like a required?
I don't
yeah, but
know.
you can't sell it in the Europe. It's illegal. There's
Yeah,
never gonna be a European driving a Cybertruck in Europe.
Well, let me ask you
That's
this.
boring.
Okay, well, is it not allowed to be sold on the basis that it's not safe for the driver or the pedestrians?
Both.
Okay. All right. I can agree with it on that sense. I was going to say, if it's based on pedestrians, do y'all have, wherever you're from, do they have F-150s? Or any truck from any American manufacturer?
I think so, but they're very uncommon. Like really uncommon. Usually they also adapt it for the European market.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just sick and
why-
tired of being eye-fucked by the headlights of a truck, okay?
Oh, that's highly illegal. Every time
Just get
you
a bigger truck.
we also have mandatory inspections. Like there's no option. Every year you have to get your vehicle inspected, and one of those steps is that they check your headlights. they
Dude, I
need
have
to
to
be
do that.
perfectly aligned. Yeah, but you live in a good state. But 98% of the other states don't have state inspections of vehicles.
Oh, they do. They do. There's a
Back
lot
in
of
my
them.
hometown,
No.
I had to do vehicle inspections. But you want to know the worst part? I can identify any Honda product, and when I say Honda, I also mean Acura, based on how fucked I am being on the road. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's a sedan. It doesn't matter if it's an SUV. Irrelevant. I'm equally as fucked
How low
regardless.
is your vehicle?
What?
Like,
So I looked it up. 15 states out of 50 have it. So there you go.
Okay.
I
Well,
was
I'm
raised in
still being
Pittsburgh,
fucked
so
regardless.
state troopers in PA are crazy.
My retinas are burnt to a crisp every time something with an H or an A drives by.
Yeah, that's not legal here.
Just get a bigger car and I fuck them.
No, because I refuse. Listen, I don't have a use for an SUV or a truck, and I'm not the typical American who's going to justify buying a truck for the one time every 2 years they need it. Ain't gonna happen.
So
Not
I'm getting
happening.
a sat phone call.
What?
It's an ISO phone call.
I mean, listen, I think standardization should be a thing, okay? However, I also believe, okay, that within all of our MDT and everything we do, what if we just had a calendar to select shit from? Where when we select, it is a written out month, okay? And then you select the numbers for the day and year and time, whatever. And then it puts it into the MDT. Hear me out. And much like the report date and time, people can cycle through to whatever format they want.
Isn't that extra steps?
Not really. So,
It's like 3
okay,
more.
look at the MDT. I didn't realize this until Trig just mentioned it. You know, you could click.
You can cycle the times, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you didn't go to the ISO meeting?
I wasn't present for the ISO meeting.
Well, you missed out.
The only fucking ISO I know is that stupid bitch in Valorant. Anyways.
Yeah, I think. So you're saying you want like to be able to personally select like the day, the time, instead of just like doing it.
Yeah. Alternatively, if I'm adding in evidence, why doesn't it just not document the time at that point? Problem solved. And then utilize the same ISO formatting that we can for 13 minutes ago or Thursday,
Yeah, I
08
can
February
see-
2024 or 2824 at 407.
I can see what you mean with like when I put in evidence, it should just be like, okay, I threw that in there at that time instead of just like question mark.
Mm-hmm.
I could get behind that. I could get behind that big time because I'd like to know how, yeah. Because then you could actually like, let's say I get a blood sample from a scene 3 days ago. You could have the argument if that sample's even valid at this point because it wasn't tested until 3 days later. You could bring up that argument, but I like that. I could get behind that big time.
Hmm. Forte,
Yeah.
where you from?
What's the matter?
Bitch, I know you suddenly didn't just come up with an accent. Huh?
Wait, what's your accent? I totally missed. Where are you
So,
originally from?
He hit me with the what's it matter?
I was raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and
Okay.
then I
Yeah.
moved to Cleveland, and then worked out of New York, and now I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's go Steelers. I hate saying.
Well, at least it's not the fucking Eagles.
I will go nuclear on Eagles fans. I'm gonna be honest.
They're the fucking worst.
They're just terrible to talk to. You're like, hey, you want to talk about that game? And they're like, That's what they
Oh
sound
my
like.
gosh.
They just shit nonsense at you.
Apologies, I got a sat phone call from my mother back in Sweden.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're who?
My mother,
Oh, mother.
mama.
thought
Where'd
you
we
said
leave
something
off
else.
before you had that important?
Apologies. Yeah,
Oh, being eye
basically,
fucked by an H or an A.
ISO I fucked.
Yeah.
it's. I mean, it's not a thing here because that would be illegal.
Well, again, I stand by what I said because it doesn't matter if it's a sedan by Honda or Acura or an SUV, it's the same. Eyeball, retinas burnt.
I mean, it's the same thing when you guys look at the blinkers. Have you thought about that? The
Don't get me
blinkers in the
started with lighting laws in the United States and how outdated they are or have been up until very recently.
Yep.
Did you know
Good,
that
how are you?
in the US we could not have sequential turn signals
Yep.
until very recently? And do you want to know their workaround?
What?
They would have a solid, they would have a separate light in addition to the sequential turn signal to meet whatever fucking legal requirements they had.
You know,
Personally, I hate everything about that.
I find funny that they abolished jaywalking, they decriminalized it, but they allowed failure to signal. I feel like there's more offenders, and that seems so minor. But I mean, we still get a poll on that.
We're talking about important stuff over here.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking. You're talking signaling. I was thinking about it. I'm like pulling it over. Like, what's.
Anyways,
okay.
I refuse to
continue with
register
your
my weapon.
so important conversation. My apologies.
Well,
Yeah,
register your
okay.
weapon in every different date format that you'd like.
But okay, so here's my conundrum. I had a little meltdown yesterday.
Okay.
My conundrum is that I want to be compliant, but I want to be compliant with the right standard. So if I break what has been requested by my cock, then I am a heathen. But doing what my cock requested, I am also a heathen. What do I do?
Well, I think you follow the chain of command and what they've told you.
But then I am going back on the things that define me as a person.
I mean, you're most of the way there. Your last name's Trigg. Yeah, we might as well, might as well add a few more letters.
What?
Triggered. Uh-huh.
I'm not triggered. This is a serious issue.
Okay.
You know what would happen if we wouldn't have the Discovery blowing up if there was a proper ISO format being adhered to. But instead you had to go metric to imperial. It saves lives.
We're like half imperial right now.
Here's the funny part, right? The US has officially adopted the metric. Officially. But unofficially, you still use imperial. And it's being what's taught.
Don't get me fucking started. I had to do 8 fucking conversions to figure out the proper amount of windshield washer fluid concentrate in addition to distilled water to put in my fucking car back at home. Okay?
What?
8 fucking conversions.
Why would you not just use a premixed?
Truthfully, a lot of them are just shit.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that's a fair. I guess.
Yeah.
Don't you have like bestie test where you live?
What?
There's a like a independent thing that tests stuff. It's called Best in Test, and they just test a bunch of stuff, and they value like price and how well it works. Don't you guys have that?
You're giving like You might be trying to describe like Consumer Reports type stuff.
Yes, that.
Yeah, but I don't. Maybe they got it for windshield washer fluid. I don't know.
They do that for everything. So whenever I need to buy something, I look it up and I go like, well, this is good. And they got good scores, and they are always like independently made and not biased.
Just go on Amazon. They sell everything there. There's gonna be reviews all out the ass for it.
What?
Yeah.
Amazon's not ISO
Amazon has
standard.
purchase reviews. You can't trust the reviews on Amazon. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, that is
But
actually
where do you
true.
buy your things?
Oh, Amazon. But I look up what I. Yeah, but I look up what I buy on a different site. See?
What Trig is trying to say is that you cannot just look for a USB cable, all right? Because the reviews you see are not legitimate most of the time.
I mean, with cables, it's a hit or miss. You kind of just got to know it by like trial and error.
Well,
Like-
you could just look up Consumer Reports
I
and
don't
figure
trust
out
that.
what.
Like you, like what's a brand that I like live by? Anchor.
Anchor?
Anchor cables are the best freaking cable.
I
Also, I'm
don't.
not sponsored. So I'm not
I
just
think
saying
they're
this.
pretty good.
Like no, like they like.
Okay, well, hold on. How about let's take this back a bit. Y'all ever seen that guy on YouTube who does a bunch of reviews for shit?
The Project Farm?
Yes, he's a
Yeah,
good one. He's a good
OP as
one.
fuck. Yeah,
You think he follows ISO 8601?
Actually, sometimes when he looks up stuff, for some reason he still goes by not NIST, but ANSI for some reason. I guess it's because he lives in the US, I guess. ANSI is a competing standard to ISO, and ANSI is dog shit. Everybody knows that. But
Okay.
here's the conundrum, right? The US are members of the ISO standard, but you still took out the ANSI standard. What the frick?
You're just gonna have to take that up with someone above us.
Why is that every time I point out something, somebody goes, "Not my problem"?
Wait, you
The
talking
fuck are we
about
gonna
Because
do
I
this?
have no say.
You're
I'm
just
all about
gonna-
keyboards. If you want to talk about keyboards,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, you wanna talk about fucking keyboards?
I will fuck up a keyboard conversation. I will be here for it.
I
Okay,
need
back at
100%
home.
keyboard that is not dog poo poo.
Back at home,
Build your own. That's what I say.
my my W key at my keyboard in the house is a little broken. And by broken, I mean we probably miss about like 10 to 15% of input.
How are you?
I bet your L
living?
key is super strong though.
How am I living? Well,
Like, oh my god.
yeah, no, very interesting, very interesting.
Listen, invest in a custom built keyboard. You'll never go back. It's
Are you okay?
I'm going back to Logitech.
For me, it's not on
Logitech.
Yep.
How do you, you like
I'm with
Logitech?
him. I'm a firm believer in that Logitech hardware historically has suffered from quite a few flaws in quite a few of their products, but like when it's working the way it should, it is very fucking good. Okay? But their software has always been dog shit. I'll stand by that too.
That's like Razer then. Absolute dog poo poo.
I agree, Eric.
Well, did you know? Like, I mean, I feel like Logitech was the first company to standardize like not dumb shit, fucking weird ass, like way too large keys, like early on. Like, you know, like there's the enter key used to be like they used to have gigantic ones, or like the caps or shift or something like that was just too big. Like they had all these double keys all over the place, and like a tiny little backspace. Remember those? Like that's Logitech had it right the first time for like out of all companies.
Hello?
My problem
Rhodes.
with making a custom keyboard is
Why are you
the
whispering?
selection
Yes?
How are ya? You're alive?
I'm not
Yes.
even
Of course I'm
bullshitting.
alive. What do
The
you
selection of
mean,
ISO
Oh my god! Well, I'm glad
keyboards
to hear
is
you're
so bad.
okay.
What happened?
They stand
Why
Well,
did
as
you
a
think that I
keyword.
died?
Well, it's not that I thought you died. It's just, you know, it's been a while. I ain't heard from you in forever.
Like